In the United States, 119.9 million adults are diagnosed with high blood pressure. Now, how can diet help, along with your health practitioner's remedies, positively impact or even lower those numbers? According to the American Heart Association, normal blood pressure reading is 120/80 or lower. You're diagnosed with high blood pressure if it is greater than 130/80. So here are some diet recommendations. And we're going to focus on the popular diet called DASH, which stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. We are going to focus particularly on foods that are high in magnesium, potassium, and calcium, and obviously that are lower in salt. I want to go over those minerals in particular and address why and how they could possibly help lower your blood pressure. First of all, there's calcium. Now, calcium helps your blood vessels relax and tighten. And there is some report that taking in calcium, according to the National Institute of Health, can slightly lower both your systolic and your diastolic blood pressure. Food sources of calcium are dairy or non-dairy that are fortified with calcium, tofu, broccoli, almonds. Another mineral, magnesium. Now, magnesium helps to regulate your blood pressure. Some sources report that it can lower high blood pressure. Sources of magnesium are spinach, peanut butter, bananas, and avocado, black beans. And then there is the mineral potassium. And there are some sources that say that potassium can help to lower your blood pressure. It eases the tension in your blood vessel walls. Some food sources of potassium are beans, peas, cabbage, dates, oranges, bananas, kale, and potatoes. And these are just some significant sources for potassium. I want to talk about salt. Now, salt has two components, sodium and chloride, and it's the sodium component that we focus on. And the recommendation for sodium is 2,300 milligrams, not to exceed that in a day. And you get that much, almost that much, in about 1 teaspoon of salt. I want to go over the guidelines, and we get this from the Mayo Clinic, the guidelines for the DASH diet. Grains, 6 to 8 servings. And a serving would be considered, let's say, 1/2 cup of cooked cereal or a slice of bread. Recommendations for vegetables are about 4 to 5 servings of a vegetable, and a serving would be 1 cup if it's raw, about 1/2 cup if it's a cooked vegetable. 4 to 5 servings. Serving is considered 1 medium fruit or 1/2 cup of fresh, frozen, or even canned fruit, and about 1/2 cup of fruit juice. Fat-free or low-fat dairy products, about 2 to 3 servings, and 1 cup of regular or preferably I would prefer non-dairy milk, or 1 cup of yogurt, or 1.5 ounces of cheese. And I prefer always non-dairy cheese. It's lean meats, poultry, or fish, and you're allowed about 6 servings. And a serving is, or a idea of a serving would be about 1 ounce of a meat, and or fewer, and or 1 ounce of a cooked meat or 1 egg. Peas, about 4 to 5 servings a day, and a serving is considered about 1/3 cup of nuts, about 2 tablespoons of a nut butter, like let's say peanut butter, 2 tablespoons of seeds, about 1/2 cup of cooked dried beans or peas. And the recommendation for fats and oils are no more than 2 to 3 servings a day, like 1 teaspoon of a margarine, or 2 tablespoons of a salad dressing, 1 tablespoon of a mayonnaise. And we want to also include sweets and added sugars, not to have more than 5 servings. And a serving would be, 1 serving would be 1 tablespoon of sugar, jelly, or jam, 1/2 cup of a sorbet, or 1 cup of some type of sugary beverage like a lemonade or something like that. And those are just some recommendations or some guidelines for the DASH diets. Now, ways to decrease your sodium. You want to read the food labels. So if 2,300 milligrams is the ceiling, you definitely want to keep to make sure that you're coming within those guidelines as much as possible. You want to use salt-free or other types of spices that don't have salt, such as using garlic powder versus garlic salt, or onion powder versus onion salt. You can use herbal blends as long as there's no salt or sodium that is included. Don't add salt while cooking. Choose fresh or frozen with no salt or sodium added. Decrease your amount of processed foods altogether, because as a rule, processed foods usually have salt and or some sodium that's added. Check with your doctor before using any salt substitute. So with planning and persistence, you can work with your health professionals to hopefully get better results. For I'm Das, I'm out, but I want you to join our program next time.